Hello, I'm Granny, and today I'm going to be talking about the MockingJay Part 1 movie. I saw MockingJay earlier today, like at 4:45, and it was really good. I had high expectations, but this movie was very good. It was a very good book to movie adaptation. Catching Fire is still my favorite though, but I thought MockingJay was very well done. If you have not seen MockingJay Part 1, I would leave because you're going to get spoiled on some stuff, and I don't want you to be spoiled. I don't like spoilers, and I think it's weird for people who like to get spoiled on things because that's just messed up. So if you've not seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, I would leave. So bye, not spoilers. Wow, 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 wow. MockingJay Part 1. Oh my gosh, it was so good. So much things happened, and it was only 2 hours and 3 minutes long, which I still can't get over the fact that it was 2 hours and 3 minutes long. It did feel pretty short, I will say that, but I mean, I didn't really care. I mean, it was still 2 hours, and we got all of the stuff we needed for Part 1, and I thought that was just fine. You know what I mean? You know, I still can't get over the movie. The beginning, how it didn't start off with District 12, because in the book it starts off with her with District 12, but we got some information. You know, we saw District 13 and how she was like having that, she was like sitting somewhere and she was having a nightmare, was saying all that stuff. I really liked that scene. It was really nice. It showed that she was crazy, because Katniss becomes crazy in MockingJay if you've read the book, which I mean you should, because it's fantastic. And I'm just glad it showed District 13 and we got that vibe. Then we went to District 12, and seeing District 12 in ruins, oh my gosh, I was just and then when she stepped on that skull and then you saw all of those bodies fried like by that fire and the bomb and everything, oh, it was so bad. I was like disgusted by it, because people did that to innocent people. These people who did nothing to the Capitol just because of something Katniss did. And it just disgusts me that people do that. And I mean, that has happened in our world before, that people have just killed innocent people, just, you know, YOLO, and that disgusted me, and I hate the Capitol. I liked all the new characters and everything that we met in MockingJay, seeing them here, very well done. But the thing was, the characters, I didn't really remember any of them. Well, I remember Boggs a lot, because I mean, he dies and everything, spoiler, but I didn't really remember like Cressida and Pollux and all of them. But when I watched this, I did remember them. I was like, oh, right. And oh my gosh, Cressida's hair was so cool. Like, I was like, that's the coolest thing ever. It was really cool. If you didn't think it was cool, I don't know what your problem is. I will say this wasn't as violent as I was thinking it was going to be. It was violent, like with District 8 and District 13 with when the Capitol came. But I mean, it wasn't as violent. There weren't a lot of like battle scenes. Definitely in the next movie there will be, because I think this was just the beginning, the start of it, and then Part 2 will be the actual war. And I'm glad it's like that. This is just the beginning, and then the next is, oh, this is going to be the war. And I liked how that played. In a way, I'm kind of glad this is in 2 parts, to show the beginning and then the war. You know, this is making everything start up, and then the second movie will, bam, war. And I guess I'm now glad for that, but at the same time, I guess MockingJay should have been a Part 1, just one movie. But I guess I'm glad that it's in 2 parts, because everything can flow together and everything. But I mean, I'll have to wait a year, and that sucks. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad Effie got this big part in the movie. It was so great. So great. I love Effie. She had all these great lines. Effie's so funny and so sassy. Like, she was fantastic. I love having Effie more important. Add her, she's gonna be a more important character, because Effie showed up like once in MockingJay, and it was like at the end where Katniss was about to do that shooting thing, and that was the only time, so I'm glad she's more important and everything, and she was just so funny, and she was like probably like the best thing out in the movie, because Effie, I just love Effie. Everyone loves Effie. Gosh, Katniss's line, "If we burn, you burn with us," that whole scene, perfection, so beautiful. That was definitely one of my favorite scenes in the book, because it's just so like, whoa, like it was serious in how Jennifer Lawrence said it. And by the way, Jennifer Lawrence did a fantastic job, and it was just, it's so powerful. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is so true. Like, it can just hypnotize you how much power. You can tell Katniss is angry at the Capitol. You can tell how if we burn you will with us. If you destroy us, you're gonna come down with us. It's like in Tartarus. If I'm going down there, you're coming down with me. And that's how it's gonna happen. You read the book, because the Capitol did get freaking destroyed, because Katniss is awesome. Speaking of Jennifer Lawrence's acting, it was fantastic. And I can't believe it was so awesome. Like, it was so believable. And all those crime scenes and everything, like, it was so realistic, and I was like, oh my gosh, everyone did a fantastic job in their acting. The best was Jennifer and Josh, obviously, and I'll have to talk about Josh later. He did a fantastic job. Every single human being did a fantastic job, and this is such a great cast, and it was just so fantastic. Oh my gosh, Peeta. Peeta for the first time in that interview was so heartbreaking, and seeing Katniss' reaction, and she was like, "You're alive," and I was like, oh gosh, the whole Katniss and Peeta reunion, it was so much worse watching in the movie. When I read it in the book, yeah, it was intense. Like, I imagine it's so scary, but the movie, like, it was scary. Like, I didn't cry, but I had my hand over my mouth. I was just like, heavy breathing, just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. It was so intense, and I liked how, like, he almost, like, choked her or something, and so she had that neck thing to see, like, how bad it was. I liked how they added that in. But, oh my gosh, I was, like, heavy breathing, and I was freaking out, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, it was so intense. And see that bruise thing, like, even talking about it makes me, like, just, it made, I just, why? It was just so intense, and I can't even, I can't, like, I was practically emotionally scarred because of it, because it was that scary, and like, just watching it, I was just like, oh my gosh. And the Katniss and Peeta reunion, my theory for the ending of part 1, this was the only thing I could think of to end the movie, was Katniss and Peeta reunion, because that would be a horrible cliffhanger and make people angry. And it felt like it was gonna end like that, because the screen went black, so I was thinking, oh, it's done. But then it was done, and I'm glad it was, and I'm glad they added that stuff, because I didn't want it to just end like that. I was just like, please let my theory be wrong, but at the same time, I think it's right. So I'm really glad they didn't end like that, because, you know, that would have sucked. I mean, don't get me wrong, it still ended with Katniss and Peeta, and I'm glad how it ended with that Katniss and Peeta scene, when Katniss was going to visit Peeta, and you saw Peeta in the bed in that lab thingy, and he's thrashing around and everything, and his, like, hands are cuffed, and he's trying to get out of them, and he's like you could tell he's, like, screaming and crying, and it was just so intense to see Katniss's reaction. I was just like, oh, that's me too, and it was just, I'm glad it ended like that, not with the reunion, because I felt like the reunion would have been worse, and I thought, this is still bad, but it's not. as bad. Because if it just ended with the Cat and Speedy reunion, you don't, like, if people haven't read the books, they may think Katniss is dead because of PETA, and we don't want to give them that vibe, because that's not what happens. If you read the book, you know they both live. And I'm just glad that's how it ended, and I like that. And then it just went Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 1, and then Yellow Flick Beat started playing about Lordy, and it was so fantastic. I'm really excited for Mockingjay Part 2. I cannot wait for it to be 2015. So many good movies come out in 2015. Avengers, Pitch Perfect 2, Insurgent, Mockingjay. I don't know what else, but a lot. And I'm so ecstatic. Please comment down below your thoughts on the Mockingjay Part 1 movie. What did you like about it? What was your favorite part? And everything. I really liked the District 8 scene. That was probably my favorite. What did you dislike about it? And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to watch more, click the subscribe button down below. I'm Courtney, and I'll see you all next time. And if we burn.